If, when you take a wall, you're still going for safe right-hand peeks, I'm afraid you've fallen behind. You're stuck playing 2023 Fortnite in 2025, because at the start of Chapter 6, the box fighting meta started slowly changing into the new era of fighting we have today, where the best fighters are more often than not using wide peeks, prediction, and misdirection to get eliminations rather than safe peeks. And it's all because of this guy right here. The Sentinel shotgun is undoubtedly the strongest pump shotgun to ever be added to Fortnite. The combination of its incredibly high structure damage, fast pullout time, and high headshot damage is something like we had never seen. Remember, before this, these were considered the best pump shotguns, and literally all of them are lacking in at least one category. The Spaz and Hammer Pump have low structure damage, the Havoc and Thunder have slow pullout times, and the Gatekeeper and Lever Action both lack headshot damage. But the Sentinel, even at lower rarities, has everything. Just the blue Sentinel maxes for 180 damage, deals 86 to structures, and is tied for the fastest pullout time of any shotgun at 300 milliseconds. So then why does this make safe peeks bad? Well, they aren't bad as in you'll take damage, they're just ineffective against good opponents. Let's say you take someone's wall first try and slide a cone in their box. If you try to make a top right edit and jump into the peak for a shot, a good player will just shoot the wall and take it back when you edit. Actually, any edit you make, safe or not, would let them shoot and take it back. So if you can't edit the wall, what can you do? Well, that depends on the situation. Anytime you take someone's wall, they generally have 4 options for defense. They can edit up their cone and try to hold it, they can edit up their cone and try to rebox, they can edit up their cone and try to shoot you back when you take the cone, or they can just instantly take out their shotgun and wait to shoot. Now as the aggressor, you also have 4 options. You can make a wide peek, with the goal being to shoot and reset before the opponent shoots you back. You can make a safe peek, trying to make it so that the opponent never has an angle to shoot you from at all. You can not edit at all and instead go for a pre-box, or you can fake an edit and then instantly reset, trying to bait out the enemy's shot. With this, we can put the aggressor's 4 options versus the defender's 4 options, and compare the outcomes of each combination to get a good idea of what's effective. If you try and pre-box, you only win the encounter if the opponent reboxes in that direction. Otherwise it's neutral, nobody takes damage. The outcome of making a fake edit is pretty obvious as well. If they hold their gun out and shoot your wall, you'll win the encounter. Otherwise it's neutral. Making a safe peek that's slower will only allow you to outdamage the opponent if they try to edit up their cone and hold it. Even if they choose to block and wait for a shot, as soon as you replace their cone, they'll still be able to shoot the wall and take it back since they already have out their shotgun. They'll also be safe if they instantly take out their shotgun without blocking, or go straight to rebox. This is the biggest change that happened when the Sentinel was added, because if the defender has pretty much any other shotgun, let's say the Spaz in this case, the slower safe peek wins in every scenario except when the opponent reboxes. And defenders didn't even have the option of shooting when their cone was broken because shotguns didn't deal enough damage to break the cone in the first place. So in the past, the slower safe peek was the clear winner in most scenarios. But now, it's one of the worst options. I mean, it is still safe, you won't take damage, but most often it'll lead to a neutral outcome and the fight just dragging on for longer than it needs to. The last option, fast wide peek, wins if the defender tries to hold the cone, because when you replace the cone their gun won't be out. It goes neutral if the defender blocks and holds out their gun for a shot, since you can just not shoot the cone, and it also goes neutral if the defender reboxes. Where it gets a little more complicated is when the defender instantly takes out their shotgun, because who wins in that case depends on how the build was taken. If they see you pickaxe their wall to replace it, then the player defending will have the advantage since they can properly time putting away their builds and taking out their shotgun. Since the aggressor has to edit the wall as well before shooting, the defender will have their weapon out first, allowing them to shoot first. But if the defender isn't able to know the exact moment when the wall is going to break, then they won't be able to put their builds away and take out their shotgun until after they react to seeing the wall break. In this situation, the aggressor will have their gun out first and be able to shoot and reset before the defender can shoot back. This is one of the reasons why having both the Sentinel and Revolver is so strong. The ability to make your wall timing unpredictable by shooting with one shotgun and still be able to then instantly edit and shoot with the other shotgun makes defending so much harder. Now, you may be wondering, why not just make the safe peek but do it quickly? Great question. Here's why. Safe peeks are inherently going to be slower than wide peeks, even if it's just by a little bit. Wide peeks make it so that the very frame your shotgun is ready to shoot, you're able to shoot and then reset. If you want to shoot on the exact frame your shotgun is ready with a safe peek, you would have to time both yours and your opponent's movement so that on the frame your shotgun is ready to shoot, you have the perfect angle. Not only does this require you to have perfect movement, it also requires you to perfectly predict your opponent's movement. Because if they move just a little bit more to the left than you thought, you won't have an angle to shoot them. And if they move a little bit more to the right than you expected, then you're not protected and it's just a wide peek anyway. So unless you're clairvoyant, you'll have to choose between making a wide peek that lets you shoot as soon as possible, or a safe peek that might, at least slightly, delay your ability to shoot the opponent. Now choosing between your aggressive options is actually pretty simple. Assuming you took their wall with unpredictable timing, a fast, wide peek is always going to outperform the safe peek. It wins every scenario that the safe peek does, plus more. Plus, wide peeks also make it easier to hit high damage shots. Then of course, there's also pre-boxing and fake editing, which are pretty much just counters to predictable opponents. If you can predict your opponent is going to rebox, then you just pre-box them and win. If you're playing an opponent that just always takes their gun out, a fake edit counters it. Safe peeks aren't useless now though. Remember, the wide peek is only always better if your wall take timing is unpredictable. If instead, for example, you double pickaxe their wall, they'll know exactly when to put away their builds and take out their shotgun. So if you make a wide peek, they would be able to shoot you first. This is the situation where a slower safe peek wins out more often. Safe peeks are also still king when builds aren't fresh. If you're sitting in a fully built brick or metal box and someone starts pressuring, safe peeks are still the way to go, since your build will still have more than enough HP to tank their shots. I have specifically been talking about the situation where you just replace someone's build piece and you can assume they have a sentinel shotgun, which usually is the case this chapter, at least for the standard battle royale.